The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers reveal that Steffy Forrester Finnegan will tell raging Ridge Forrester about Taylor Hayes and Deacon Sharp's forbidden love. During the week of February 26th, Steffy will make a discovery that's both infuriating and concerning. When Steffy realizes Taylor has ignored all her warnings and fallen even harder for Deacon, she'll be totally fed up with the situation. Steffy still won't understand why Taylor would take a risk like this considering Sheila Sharp's history. Taylor is pursuing the husband of an extremely dangerous woman, so Steffy will be exasperated. After Steffy pushes Taylor to finally end whatever this is with Deacon, she'll spell out what'll happen if she doesn't listen. Taylor could risk being cut off from Steffy and the kids if she doesn't obey her daughter's orders this time around. Although Taylor may surrender to Steffy's demand, she'll just keep seeing Deacon behind Steffy's back. Steffy may be afraid of that deep down and turn to Ridge for backup soon enough. In B&B's February 6th episode, Steffy will shock Ridge with the news that Deacon is more than just a friend or patient to Taylor. Ridge will find out Taylor has developed feelings for Deacon, who has feelings for Taylor too. Of course, Ridge's response will probably be to blame Deacon for everything. Taylor was alone and vulnerable after Ridge dumped her for Brooke Logan Forrester, so Ridge may argue that Deacon took advantage of that. Ridge will understand why Steffy's so worried since he also knows what Sheila is capable of. Deacon's the one who took a gamble by marrying someone as messed up as Sheila, so Ridge will think Deacon should live with that choice and stay away from Taylor. Ridge has never been a big fan of Deacon anyway, so he may start ranting about how Taylor deserves better. Although Ridge isn't Taylor's love interest anymore, that won't stop him from realizing what's at stake and taking action. There's a good chance Ridge will corner Deacon for a heated confrontation soon and give Taylor a fierce warning as well. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Steffy will give Ridge some enraging updates, so stay tuned to see how he'll handle all this. The Bold and the Beautiful spoiler hint that Will Spencer may get fired. Will Ivy Forrester convince Steffy Forrester Finnegan and Ridge Forrester to cut this problematic Spencer loose? Will has already been concerned about his Forrester position due to all the Logan drama. Katie Logan Spencer launched some conflict with Ridge and Brooke Logan Forrester, so Will turned to Ridge with questions about job security. Ridge offered reassurance since he doesn't judge Will for Katie's actions, or even Bill Spencer's for that matter. However, Will's own mistakes could cost him a future at Forrester Creations, depending on how things play out. Now that Ivy has witnessed such a scandalous scene between Will and Dylan, she's going to cause a big fuss about it. B&B spoilers say Ivy will try to send Dylan out of town, but Will may intervene. Regardless, Electra Forrester won't be pleased once she gets updates on what happened while she was away on business. There's been a lot of talk about Dylan needing to respect boundaries, but what about Will? Let's not forget Will previously invited Dylan to join him for teriyaki chicken. Will also dismissed the idea of Dylan taking Hayes Finnegan up to her room when she suggested it as an alternative to the main house. After Hayes went to sleep, Will pushed Dylan to give him a private ballet performance, which led to the inappropriate lap moment Ivy witnessed. Will needs to take some accountability, since it's not like Dylan is seeking him out like some sort of predator. It honestly seems like Dylan is trying to fight temptation, while Will's making it difficult for her at every turn. This whole situation may lead to a gigantic fight between Electra and Will, especially if she sides with Ivy about Dylan needing to leave town, or at least the guest room. Will may argue that they can't just throw Dylan out and force her to live in her car again. Whether this ends Electra and Will's relationship or not, Ivy may take matters into her own hands at Forrester Creations. Ivy doesn't mess around when it comes to people who hurt Electra, so she may push Steffy and Ridge to fire Will ASAP. If Will and Electra do break up, that'll make it even easier for Ridge and Steffy to decide they should give Will the boot. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Will may get some bad news about his future at Forrester Creations, so stay tuned. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers hint that RJ Forrester and Dylan may plot to break up Will Spencer and Electra Forrester. Will Dylan and RJ become new scheming partners? Dylan will meet RJ for the first time during the week of February 6th, so they'll strike up a bond right away. The question is, will that bond be romantic or perhaps platonic with a bit of mischief involved? RJ was smitten with Electra right off the bat for a reason. It's tough to believe the show will really drop that angle, especially since we know RJ and Will are going to become bigger rivals in the coming months. Likewise, Dylan and Will have formed a real connection. B&B fans saw Will open up to Dylan and cry real tears, so the show has to be going somewhere with all that. However, Ivy Forrester is obviously an issue, and so is Elektra, since she's been so concerned about Dylan spending time with Will alone. What if RJ and Dylan decide to become allies? If Dylan and RJ realize they could help each other out, this could turn into a fun scheming storyline. RJ and Dylan might even fake date to get Ivy and Elektra off Dylan's back. If Dylan has a boyfriend of her own, then Elektra and Ivy might finally chill out. It'd be a smart way to convince Ivy and Elektra to drop their guards. But Dylan and RJ could really be working behind the scenes to sabotage Will's romance with Elektra. RJ might convince Dylan that he's the better man for Elektra and that she's the better woman for Will. Maybe RJ will insist they'd be doing Will and Elektra a favor, even if they don't realize that now. Dylan and RJ could put on a romantic show for everyone else while they brainstorm ways to drive a wedge between Will and Elektra. Of course, things could get complicated if RJ and Dylan realize they have genuine feelings for each other right when their plan starts to work. Whatever the case, The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers say Dylan and RJ will get to know each other soon, so stay tuned for updates on what that news will mean for Elektra and Will. You've come a long way, Carter Walton, since Bold and Beautiful introduced Lawrence St. Victor as the fittest attorney in all of daytime television. The character has climbed the corporate ladder to become COO of Fancy Pants Forrester Creations. He's also loved and lost, a lot, before getting a whiff of lasting romantic success with newly minted fiancée Daphne. But there's still one storyline that the actor hasn't gotten, but is keen to play. I would love to get into Carter's family life, like why is he the way he is? He tells Soaps.com. He's a very interesting character to me, because he presents himself as so good and so earnest and so perfect. But then, when he's in these relationships, it almost looks like he's trying too hard. What is broken inside of him that makes him feel like he has to work so hard to be good, he continues. I feel like that has to come from his family. St. Victor has even seen hints that Carter's upbringing wasn't picture perfect. His brother Marcus, he reminds, came to LA to find his biological parents. It was like there was something that he was getting away from, the actor suggests. So I feel like there's something in their home life that was incredibly toxic and, for one son, made him flee to find his real family. And, for the other son, it just made him type to think, if I get straight A's, if I get my law degree, if I can do this or that, then maybe I'll deserve love or deserve happiness. It's all about deserving for Carter, he adds, so I would love to go into his history of why he is the way he is. It's been years since Jacob Young said that he was unlikely ever to return to the role of Rick on The Bold and the Beautiful, owing to the show's hyper-focus on a couple of storylines at a time. But that doesn't mean that the Emmy winner would never reprise any of his former characters. As word spreads that Lifetime's All My Children TV movies are in the works, Young was recently asked whether perhaps he'd possibly suit up to play JR again. I think because of Beyond the Gates, there's been a real reinvigoration of the possibility of something like All My Children coming back to the table now, he told Michael Fairman TV. If they were to do it and wanted JR in the mix, count me in. Young played Adam and Dixie's son from 2003 to 11, then returned to Bold and Beautiful when ABC canceled the still much-missed daytime drama. JR was recast for the short-lived online reboot. Since leaving daytime in 2018, Young has appeared in several TV movies and guested on series such as High School Musical, The Series, and The Walking Dead. With former All My Children castmate Trent Garrett, Young also directed and starred in the recently released Whodunit: A Murder Between Friends, with no less than Joan Collins and Nadia Bjorlin. The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers reveal a preview clip has been released for the week of February 2nd, 2026. Fans can expect a spark between two characters. A secret is causing a lot of conflict. Plus, there is a brewing family feud over a romance. Keep reading to find out what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with Dylan. The young woman has been ordered to leave the city, While Dylan tried to defend herself, Ivy threw money at her, told the girl to fill up her car with gas and just keep driving. It seems that Dylan will do what Ivy says. After all, she doesn't want any more problems with Will Spencer or Electra Forrester. However, when Dylan goes to the office to tell Will and Electra she's leaving, they are shocked. Later, Dylan literally bumps into RJ Forrester, and there seems to be a spark. Over with Katie Logan Spencer, she looks over Eric Forrester's designs. The brunette is so excited as she talks to Eric and Bill Spencer. The lady says the designs are exactly what she envisioned in her mind. Then, Eric reminds Bill and Katie that his work there needs to be kept a secret. The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers for the week of February 2nd, reveal that the preview clip also features Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes. Deacon will tell her that he doesn't know how they will give each other up. Well, they don't intend to. Despite the risks, Deacon and Taylor will be determined to stay together. Meanwhile, Sheila Carter Sharp still thinks Taylor saved her marriage. As for Steffy Forrester Finnegan, she issues an ultimatum. It seems that Steffy finds out that Taylor and Deacon are even closer than ever. Steffy demands her mother stop associating with Deacon. If she doesn't, then Taylor will lose Steffy and the family. You know, these demands don't do very much good. It just makes the man that much more desirable. So, will love be worth it for Taylor to lose her family? Or could everyone realize that Deacon and Taylor are truly meant to be together? Plus, Dylan makes a decision after Ivy Forrester's demand. Keep reading to find out what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with Liam, who makes a powerful discovery. The young man just happens to find out that Eric Forrester is secretly designing for Katie Logan Spencer. Eric wants to be sure this is kept a secret. Liam isn't going to say anything. After all, he helped them secure the trademark for Logan. However, if Steffy Forrester Finnegan quizzes Liam, that could create some awkward moments. As for RJ, he will work on some sketches. Brooke Logan Forrester has asked RJ to work with Ridge Forrester. Right now, RJ isn't sure what he's going to do. RJ does find that Electra Forrester is easy on the eyes, though. So, with RJ sketching, it sounds like he might stick around. Expect RJ to show his designs to Carter Walton. Maybe Carter and Daphne Rose will have RJ design for the wedding. The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers for the week of February 2nd, reveal that Dylan has a bit of a twist. Fans know that Ivy ordered the girl to leave Los Angeles and never come back. Ivy gave her a bunch of cash to help fund the trip. Dylan goes to tell Will Spencer and Electra Forrester some surprising news. So, Dylan probably says she is going to head somewhere else for a fresh start. However, in a weekly preview clip, we see Dylan literally run into RJ. As for what else to expect, Taylor Hayes and Deacon Sharp promise to find a way to be together. Meanwhile, Sheila Carter Sharp remains blissfully unaware of the betrayal. Later, Steffy Forrester Finnegan tells Ridge about Taylor's secret romance. Then Ridge starts to feel guilty. It sounds like Ridge might do anything to save Taylor. Perhaps that means another romantic switcheroo? The weekly The Bold and the Beautiful must-watch moments for February 6 reveal that Dylan tells Electra she has some important news to tell her, which leaves Electra and Will surprised. Plus, Eric has a big secret that Liam learns, and Taylor and Deacon move even further into their relationship, while Sheila remains unaware. Tune in to CBS or Paramount Plus next week to catch all the dramatic moments. Monday, February 2nd, 9706. Steffy gives Taylor an ultimatum. Dylan tells Electra she has something important to tell her. On B&B, Monday, February 2nd, promises tense confrontations and looming revelations. Steffy prepares to lay down the law with Taylor, while Dylan hints that she has something significant to tell Electra. With emotions already running high, the fallout could be just getting started. The Bold and the Beautiful's must-watch moments for Monday, February 2nd, include Steffy giving Taylor an ultimatum, presumably about Deacon. Plus, Dylan lets Electra know she has something to tell her. While Steffy and Electra were on a business trip, Dylan crossed a line Electra had previously set, because Will told her it wasn't an issue. The two babysat Hayes. At Will's, Dylan practiced ballet and fell onto him on the couch. Of course, Ivy happened to witness it through the window. she told Dylan to leave town. Meanwhile, Taylor and Deacon revealed their feelings for each other. He went to her for counseling after learning about Sheila's big lie, while Taylor set a boundary with Sheila that they can't be friends due to her counseling relationship with Deacon. Of course, Taylor failed to set appropriate boundaries with Deacon. Ultimately, Taylor and Deacon kissed. Steffy told Taylor to drop Deacon as a client, but Taylor refused. Steffy even tried to enlist Hope's help to stop their mom and dad's budding relationship. But Hope was happy her dad was moving on from Sheila the Bold and the Beautiful has been promising an epic fashion war between Forrester Creations and Katie Spencer's new company Logan for weeks. When the guns start blazing, everyone will be scurrying to take sides. How long will Hope Logan and Liam Spencer's relationship survive while they are on opposing teams? Hope Logan has spent over a decade making a name for herself in the fashion industry and building her line Hope for the Future. The last time Lope split up, one of the underlying reasons was because Liam Spencer didn't take his wife's work seriously, and Thomas Forrester did. Will history repeat itself on The Bold and the Beautiful if Hope Logan keeps working at Forrester Creations? Liam Spencer is working hard helping Bill Spencer and Katie establish their family's new fashion house. At some point, Liam is going to want Hope to come work for them, and she's going to have a tough time turning him down. Hope has put her blood, sweat, and tears into Hope for the Future for years. She even helped Carter Walton stage a coup to keep HFTF alive. If she tried to leave Forrester Creations, Ridge and Carter will most likely bury her in legal red tape. Hope can leave FC whenever she wants, but the Forresters own Hope for the Future, and it's not going anywhere. Hope Logan seems serious this time on The Bold and the Beautiful about keeping her family together. She has to see the writing on the wall and know that Liam is going to expect her to come to Logan. Will Hope walk away from a line she spent years building to make her hubby happy? Is there a way she can take HFTF with her? Share your thoughts down below, and don't forget to keep checking back here on Soap Opera Spy for more Bold and the Beautiful spoilers and updates. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for February 2nd, 2026 features Steffy giving Taylor an ultimatum about Deacon and Dylan making a confession to Elektra. Steffy made her position quite clear about the possibility of a romance between Taylor and Deacon. She forbade her mother from pursuing something with Deacon, mostly out of fear that Sheila would retaliate in a dangerous manner. Steffy and Taylor have both been on the receiving end of what Sheila is capable of when she feels backed into a corner, and it nearly cost them their lives. Steffy is desperate to avoid a repeat of history, but Taylor has chosen to ignore every warning. However, on Monday's all-new episode, Steffy gives Taylor the ultimate ultimatum regarding her growing feelings for Deacon, and it's quite simple. Taylor can either cut ties with Deacon for good or say goodbye to her family. Steffy is putting it all on the line and giving Taylor one final choice to stay in her life and her grandchildren's lives. If Taylor decides that she can't stay away from Deacon, Steffy is fully prepared to sever ties with her mother to keep her family safe from Sheila. Steffy has worked hard to create a safe distance between herself and Sheila's madness, but she is adamant about maintaining it. Taylor's inability to resist temptation around Deacon threatens the peace achieved and could put a target on everyone's backs. Taylor and Deacon have developed something they believe is worth taking the risk for, but Steffy is unwilling to gamble her safety. Taylor faces a monumental choice, and whatever she chooses will leave someone distant and disappointed. The second major focus of Monday's episode is Elektra's return to Los Angeles and Dylan claiming to have a confession to make to her. There are a couple of directions that this could take, one of them being Dylan exposing Ivy's threat to run her out of town. However, another possibility, if Dylan wants to avoid drama with Ivy, is that she will come clean about why Ivy saw through the window. If she can get ahead of the allegations, perhaps there is a way to maintain the peace. The only other possibility is that Dylan will confess she needs to leave town without giving any rhyme or reason for the abrupt decision. Dylan has tried to respect Elektra's wishes, but fate kept bringing her and Will closer together. Finn dropped Hayes off with no warning, and every time Dylan tried to do the right thing and retreat to the guest house, Will insisted that she stay there with him. There's only so much that Dylan can do when the person providing her with a roof over her head requests her to remain by his side. Dylan is being treated the same as Luna, without doing any of the nefarious things that made Luna the town pariah. Whatever her confession ends up being, it's going to place Will in an unfair position that will undoubtedly have many ripple effects across the canvas. This week on The Bold and the Beautiful, Steffi and Elektra left Los Angeles for a business trip, which should have served as a much-needed reprieve from demands made about other people's lives. However, Ivy took the mantle of nosiest Forrester, and her treatment of Dylan and a sudden obsession with proper behavior provided plenty of ego. Elsewhere in town, Sheila continued to shower Taylor with praise, despite the good doctor planting a passionate kiss on her husband. Hopefully, Ivy never learns about Deacon and Taylor's connection because it is certainly not proper. It's not proper at all. What version of Ivy are viewers being subjected to lately on The Bold and the Beautiful? She is not a saint, but she is pretending to be one. Ivy was casually involved with Wyatt Spencer in the past, so she knows the family intimately. It also wasn't that long ago that she threw herself at Liam, professing her feelings for him. Beyond that, Ivy even had relations with Thomas when she was with Wyatt. There is no room for her as the morality police, and her past makes this week's actions all the more mind-boggling. First, hiding in the bushes and spying on your niece's boyfriend in the middle of the night is crazy, unhinged behavior. That alone would be bad enough, but Ivy didn't stop there. She descended further into madness by marching into Dylan's private bedroom and accusing her of trying to steal Will from Elektra. Ivy spied through the window, and she had no actual context of what had taken place. Nothing crossed the line. Nothing was inappropriate. In fact, for the first time, Will felt comfortable enough to express his feelings, something he's been unable to do with her narcissistic niece. Ivy demanded that Dylan leave town and threw a wad of cash at her. It was the ultimate sign of disrespect, but it was a classic Forrester move. The Forrester family has always had an attitude of superiority, but lately it seems to have tripled in intensity. From Brooke and Ridge's treatment of Katie and Eric, to Steffi's attempts to run everyone's lives, to Ivy and Elektra's attitude toward Dylan, it's a growing problem. Ivy had no business telling anyone what to do, and the complete transformation of her character to this version makes little to no sense. Sheila needs to snap back into reality and realize what is happening under her nose. This is supposed to be one of the most manipulative and conniving villains in soap opera history, but she's been written like the biggest fool in Los Angeles. Everyone at this point knows about Deacon and Taylor, except for Sheila. Some, like Hope and Deke, are actively advocating for Deacon to leave Sheila for his therapy, whereas others, like Steffi, are vehemently opposed to the idea. Regardless, the longer Sheila is kept in the dark, the more damage it does to her character. Sheila should be far savvier than how she is currently portrayed. It's cringeworthy to watch Sheila fawn all over Taylor, knowing that the person she gives all the credit for saving her marriage is actively working to rip it from her. Taylor is no better than Brooke. It's a harsh assessment, but a valid one. For someone who cries about being left for another woman, Taylor seems all too eager to put the final nail in Deacon and Sheila's marriage. She's no longer worried about the potential danger that Sheila poses, and she's disregarded every ounce of professional ethics she had left. The real Sheila needs to come back and remind everyone treating her poorly about the reasons why they are afraid of her to begin with. Sheila, the restaurant manager, is not the version that people have tuned in to see for decades. The Bold and the Beautiful is gearing up for a surprising romantic shakeup, and Thomas may sense trouble before anyone else does. Rumors suggest Thomas could return to Los Angeles and spot warning signs involving RJ and Elektra. His instincts may spark explosive concerns. Thomas has been living a calmer life in Paris, but that peace never lasts long in Los Angeles. His remote work setup keeps him away, yet business trips always pull him back into Forrester chaos. A return trip could place him in the middle of RJ's growing interest in Elektra. This storyline may ignite fresh tension. Once Thomas reunites with RJ, he may notice his younger brother looks smitten. RJ's excitement about Elektra might feel familiar to Thomas, who remembers the emotional landmines of mixing family with romance. His past mistakes could influence his take on the situation. That history may push him to question RJ's judgment. Thomas understands how fast attraction can turn messy within the Forrester orbit. He once convinced himself Ivy was a safe choice because they shared only a last name. That decision brought chaos. Now, he may believe RJ is walking into a similar trap. His experience might drive him to stop the cycle. Hope also played a massive role in Thomas's past heartbreak, and he may recall the consequences of chasing someone destined for another man. He might see the same pattern forming with Elektra if her chemistry with Will intensifies. His warning could feel personal, sharp, and impossible for RJ to ignore. RJ's confidence grows each day, especially when he insists that the family name is not a factor. He seems convinced Elektra is available, interested, and ready for something real. His optimism may blind him to a bigger picture forming around her connection to Will. That triangle could explode fast. Elektra's feelings remain unclear, yet her bond with Will keeps deepening. If that spark grows, RJ might find himself heartbroken before he even begins. Thomas may sense the direction of this storyline early and push RJ to slow down. His insight could shape the next wave of Forrester drama. Thomas may become the only voice urging caution. He has lived through devotion, delusion, obsession, and heartbreak. RJ has not. Their upcoming dynamic could shift the family's emotional landscape once Thomas returns. His warning may not prevent disaster, but it might expose tensions brewing beneath the surface. If RJ ignores that advice, the fallout could hit hard. Elektra may choose Will, leaving RJ blindsided. That moment might mirror Thomas's own painful past. His fear of repetition could spark conflict that reshapes multiple relationships. The bold and the beautiful thrives on history repeating, and this storyline is no exception. Steffy tells Taylor to ditch Deacon or lose her family. Deacon and Taylor vow to be together. Taylor and Deacon share a kiss. Will and Elektra are floored by Dylan's news. Liam learns Eric is now the head designer at Logan.